So now that we know how to find the least common denominator, we can go ahead and add and subtract fractions with unlike denominators. Okay, so jumping right into it, let's just say we have to add 7 over 18 plus 5 over 12. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing that we did to find the least common denominator. We have to take the first term's denominator, which is 18, and we have to break that up. So we have 3 times 3 is 9, times 2 is 18, right? 9 times 2 is 18. So we're good there, and all these numbers are prime. Great. So now we have to take 12, right? The other term's denominator. And what we're going to do there is we have 3 times 2 times 2, okay? So to find the least common denominator between these has to be the prime number that occurs once in both of them. So this 3 is going to drop down, this 3 is going to drop down, we have a 2 that drops down, we have the last 2 that comes down with it, okay? So we have 3 times 3, which is 9, multiplied by, right, because each of these dots is just the multiplication, we have 2 times 2 is 4. So what this is going to equal is 36. So 36 is our new denominator in both of these terms. So we have 36 here, right, plus 36. Now I didn't fill these top, or the numerators up yet because we still have to change those, right? Our new denominator is 36. So we have to say to ourselves, what do we multiply 18 by to get 36? Okay? So if we know we have to multiply 18 by 2 to get 36, then we have to multiply the top by 2 as well, so that the top and the bottom are equaled out, right? They would have to retain the same ratio. So we have 14 here. Now we have to do the same thing to this side, right? So what times 12 equals 36? Well, we know 12 times 3 is 36, and what we do to the denominator we have to do to the numerator, so we have 15 here. So we have 14 plus 15, and we know that equals 29 over 36, right? Okay, and that's our final answer. And that's how to add fractions with unlike denominators. So we can go ahead and try another one. You know, maybe we'll try a subtraction one this time. Let's take 25 over 48, and we will subtract 5 over 36. Okay, so first things first here, we have to find the least common denominator between both of these. So let's set our little equation up here, and we have to find out, well, what are the lowest prime numbers that are going to multiply up to give me 48. Okay, so if we know this, right, we have 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, right, times another 2 is 16, and I know that 16 times 3 is 48. Okay, so the reason I took 2 is because it's the lowest prime number that I know will go into 48. Okay, and we can do 36 here as well. So 36, we know 2 times 2, okay. So we know that 2 is going to go into it. We also know another 2 is going to go into it, right? It's 2 times 2 is 4, and then 4 times 9 is 36. So let's find our LCD. So what's going to come down here? We have 2 is unique in this set, and this 2 is actually unique as well because there's only 2 2's in both of these, so they have to be unique. So these 2 are going to come down, 2, because these are unique in this set, those are unique in that set. Then we're going to have 3 times 3. Okay, so right now you might want to break out the calculators, but let's say we can't use calculators. So we know this is 4, right? 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8 times 2, yeah, that's 16, we know that. And then we have 16 multiplied by 3 times 3 is 9. And 16 times 9 is equivalent to 144. Okay, so that's going to be our new denominator. Okay, so down here, we're going to write 144 in our denominator minus the same thing, which is 144. So now what are we going to do? Well, we have to figure out how many times we multiplied 48 to get 144. And that might be a little tricky here. So what we'd do is we'd put 48 into 144, and we know that 8 times 3 is 24. That's 4 there. So we're just going to guess that's 3 there. So we're going to multiply this by 3 as well. Okay, so 25 times 3 is 75. Okay, and now we need to figure out the same thing for the second term. Now how many times would 36 go into 144? And I'm going to use just the same method I did before. I know that 6 times 4 is 24, and that ends in a 4, so I'm just guesstimating. Let's see if it works here. 6 times 4, I believe it is. So we're going to multiply the top by 4 as well. So we're going to have 20 here. Alright, so this is all going to be equal 75 minus 20. Well, that equals 55. We know that. And then we're going to keep the denominator the same. Even though we're subtracting, it still stays the same no matter what. Okay, and that is 55 over 144. Now it's a little bit of a process, but it's just something that you have to do. If you don't already know the multiples of the denominator, just do it really quick in your head. You have to kind of make these factor trees out, get it to the lowest term that's prime, and then see which ones are unique in each denominator. So that's how to find the LCD and add and subtract fractions with different denominators.